Hey there, it's Jason Gorman from Codemanship with another video diary from lockdown. Uh, Today I wanted to talk about living in reality. Um, I'm a middle-aged man, and you may have noticed that I am losing my hair at the top here. Um, and I'm okay with that, to be honest. It's perfectly natural, it's perfectly normal at my age. It's to be expected for many of us. So, when it goes, it goes. But some men um, don't seem to really be able to sort of live with it. So they do sometimes quite elaborate things, like starting with maybe comb overs. They get the comb and they find the hair at the side there and comb it over the top. Or they can go to even more extreme measures. Some guys go out and buy toupees, or hair pieces, and some even have hair transplants. And I've got a couple of friends who've had hair transplants, and I wouldn't wish one on my worst enemy. The sound of it, what they had to go through, sounded absolutely awful. If it's all the same with you, I think I'll just go bald. So it's going, and there's no point in trying to hide it, as far as I'm concerned. Just it is what it is. I could, like some guys, I could start wearing a hat indoors, and I know a few people who do that as well, and it's a little odd because, well, it's not going to rain. So when it goes, it goes. And I think probably the most dignified thing to do, which a lot of men do, is once it's gone, just shave it, go for a crew cut or shave it off. It's gone, it's gone. There's no point in pretending. So at some point in the next few years, I'm going to have to go the full Grant Mitchell, the full Jason Statham, if I flatter myself, and I'll just have to accept it. It's fine. Doesn't matter. I'm a middle-aged man, and nobody gives it a second thought, really, least of all me. There are other areas in life where it can be quite dangerous, though, when people kind of refuse to accept the reality that they're living in. For example, in England at the moment, we have a government that is doing everything it can to kind of comb over the statistics of our pandemic. For example, the level of testing. They're pulling all kinds of tricks, and they've been told off by the Office for National Statistics and other official bodies for misleading the public about how much testing every day we're actually doing. For example, when a test involves, taking two swabs, they'll count that as two tests, or they count mailing out the tests as the test and not actually receiving the results of the test for one person. So they pulled all kinds of stunts. And they seem to have put a lot more effort into trying to make it look as if they've done more testing than they're putting into doing more testing. They're not addressing the reality, they're addressing the perception. They're putting a toupee on it, they're combing it over, etc., etc. I think that's completely the wrong way to go. I think you just kind of accept that it is what it is. For whatever reason, we are where we are. And I see this in software development all the time. I see teams who are putting a lot more effort into the perception of how things are going rather than into how things are actually going and addressing the real problems that they're facing. So it all becomes about the politics of, if you like, of performance rather than the actual performance and making real improvements. So this is a short video. My advice really is you are where you are. It is what it is. If, for example, your code is buggy, or if your project is behind schedule, or if there are problems with usability or whatever, or scalability, or if you've got high turnover on your team, or if you've got any kind of problems like that, you need to, number one, identify what the real problems are, which requires you to be as objective as possible. So, for example, this is my lockdown crew cut. It's growing a bit now, but sort of shaving off most of your hair, you get to find out, well, how much of it is there really there? The answer is not as much as I thought. But it's been useful because now I know, well, that's what I look like with no hair or very short hair. So it holds no fear now. You may disagree. You may think I look terrible, but I think I look, it's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. And when the time comes and it's almost upon me, then at some point I'm just going to have it either cut really, really short or just shave it off and grow a beard, like so many of us men do. Because when you grow a beard, it's not, people often think that your head is just upside down. It's not that you're bald, all the hair is just there. So there are better things you can do, and the best policy is to be honest and deal with the reality of the situation. That's where the real improvements come from. Otherwise, it's just toupees and people wearing hats indoors. So with that said, I hope you're having a reasonable Sunday under the circumstances. And there'll be another video diary update soon.